Speed. For some reason, humans are fascinated by it. Going as fast as possible, whether it's around a track or in a straight line. Many brands have been built on the idea of going as fast as possible. Ferrari was once one of the most prestigious car brands in the world because they were the fastest. And then in the 90s, when Nissan created the R32 that won every race it was entered into, their sales went up. There's no better publicity than being the fastest or winning. And that's exactly what many car brands have done. Recently, a few brands have fought to be the first company to have a car reach a top speed of 300 miles an hour. How is this possible? And will it ever be beaten? Before the idea of going anywhere near 300 miles an hour, people always wanted to be the fastest. One of the first hypercars was the McLaren F1, made in 1992. People call it the first ever hypercar because it was definitely a step above any supercar or any car ever made at the time. The P1 also had an official top speed, which was a record at the time, of 221, but they claimed it as 240, which many people remember. The F1 was the car that everyone wanted to beat, and Bugatti 1 year later tried with the EB110 SS. But the top speed of the Bugatti was only 212 miles. And for about a decade, the development of high-speed cars had no breakthroughs. Koenigsegg wasn't even around yet. Their first car was still in the prototypes. In Bugatti, they were still trying to reach that top speed record. And Bugatti did not disappoint. They didn't just beat McLaren's record of 221, or McLaren's unofficial record of 240. They also beat the 250 mark, because their EB 16.4 Veyron had a top speed of 253 miles an hour. Meanwhile, Koenigsegg had just made their first car ever, the CC8S, and for a short time, it had the high-speed record of 240 miles an hour, before the EB 16.4 Veyron came out. Even though Bugatti held the record at the time, they continued to push the record higher and higher. And in 2016, they would come out with the Veyron Supersport. The 1200 horsepower monster broke his elder's record of 253 and pushed the record all the way up to 267 miles an hour. People weren't so quick to believe this, because the production models only had a top speed of 258. This was because Bugatti claimed that they didn't have good enough tires and would be dangerous, so the official top speed was 258. Then, in 2016, Bugatti made the Chiron. The Chiron had a top speed of 261 miles an hour, beating Bugatti's own record again. The car was limited again for production because they felt it didn't have good enough tires, but Bugatti still had the fastest production car. This video isn't only about Bugatti, because Hennessy would make the next move, creating the Venom GT that passed the 270 mark, but there was not enough examples of the car to be considered a production car, so technically it didn't hold the record, but it still was one of the fastest cars of the time. Koenigsegg would have their own car to challenge Hennessy and Bugatti, because even though they were making the fastest cars, Koenigsegg was still making some crazy cars. They made the 1-to-1, that for every kilogram that the car had, it would have 1 horsepower to match that. That was a message to everyone. They were going to reach the top speed record. And a year after the Chiron was made, in 2017, they would go on and claim the top speed record with the Agera RS, that had a top speed of 277 miles an hour. The record would not stand for long, because Bugatti would come back with the Chiron Supersport 300 plus, and as the name suggests, it would go over 300 miles an hour. The Chiron SS was a slightly modified version of the Chiron designed to have a top speed over 300 miles an hour, and it reached over the 300 mile an hour mark, and even exceeded it by hitting 304 miles an hour. If you buy one of the 30 cars, Bugatti will let you test drive the car on their test driving track, and hit 304 miles an hour. People always try to push the limits and see what is possible, from flying planes to the moon landing and the top speed records. But some things seem like they might never be broken. Multiple companies that have broken these records, such as Koenigsegg and Bugatti, have said that they will not go any faster, that it is way too fast and impractical. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. I'm a small channel, so if you hit the subscribe button or leave a like, it would mean a lot. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and please support and share the channel.